Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to One Leeds Fan Channel. It is Jack, it is Connor, and we are back here with your pre-match build-up. A huge game for Leeds United today, a massive game. As you can see, the topics are below. With what we're going to be talking about. We're going to try and make this a little bit of a new segment in terms of, just reeling round at the bottom what we're going to be talking about. It's not going to be as long, this one, because I want it to be sort of short and sharp. But yeah, we've got all the One Leeds merchandise here. There we go. Yeah, how does that feel, Jack?
Comfy.
Definitely
recommend, guys.
Yeah, so you got all of it here. So yeah, make sure you cop all that stuff below, guys. But yeah, let's get on to it anyway. Hello to everybody who's just joined. How are we, says Kaza. Very well, mate. Jack, you all right? Nervous?
Nervous. I am nervous. I'm very nervous, but confident at the same time. Confident
at the same time. No better YouTube channel, One Leeds. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. Cheers, Connie. The match is nerve-wracking. Hello, lad, says Tom Wilson. So I guess, Jack, let's get into it. Hey up, Connor and bro. Right, okay. So the first topic of today is going to be stopping Adama Traore. Now, we don't know whether or not he's going to start. I don't know what you guys get in the comment section below, whether or not you think he's going to start. A lot of people see him as a bit of an impact player. Yeah. I mean, just raw pace. How do you see it starting in terms of, would you start him, or would you keep someone like him on the bench to come on as pure impact? Similarly to what we had with Pablo, but not with pace.
I do think he's more an impact player. I think he makes his presence more known when he comes on later on in the game. I feel like, when you get like a 100-meter sprinter, the kind of short sprints, he's a big lad, but not as much in the tank. He's, in that sense, I don't know if he's as physically fit, but it doesn't mean he's any less strong. And for me, Leeds in the past have always had, minor discrepancies with the physicality. Not as strong as other teams. We're seeing that with like Fulham. We saw it like in the Championship.
Yeah.
So he's definitely, one of their biggest threats. Wolves' biggest threats, if not the biggest threat.
Biggest, literally.
Yeah.
He's got to be doing weights, hasn't he? He says that he's not doing weights.
He doesn't work out, though. That's ridiculous. But I mean, it'd be interesting to see how he does against Leeds' defence. He's well known for tearing up top tier teams' defences. He's ridiculously quick as well. So, but big cock at the back. Big cock at the back. He'll do a job on him. I won't be surprised. But I think Dallas might struggle a bit with him.
I think that's my worry. I think it's a really good talking point. And as we've said, Bremner's Ghost coming in and saying clatter Traore as soon as he gets the ball. The problem is, mate, in the modern game, you clatter someone like him, it's going to be free kick. You clatter him again. Yeah, the cards are going to be out. The refs are going to be protecting him.
Yeah.
Dallas is going to be a really interesting one. It's a good point. And I wanted to bring up Dallas because he's going to be in direct competition. The reason we're focusing on Traore is because his end game has improved so much. His assist link with Jimenez last year was the top in the league. It was above De Bruyne and Aguero. It was above Bruno and Rashford. It was above anyone else in the league. Yeah. So they're building up a really good partnership. So Dallas, I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if you know the answer to this. You can fire back me. I don't know as well. How on earth does he cope with someone like him? Because he's just so direct, Traore. What does Dallas do does he show him on his weak foot? Or
for me, it's he's going to have to, not that he's a class player, Dallas, but he's going to have to rely a bit on the leaders midfield as well. Yeah. In a way, this is where they need to step up. And having Hernandez back, for me, that's really good. And Harrison, of course. He's got more options there. But not deferring from Dallas. But I think Struijk, I am looking forward to seeing him play. I think he's as good as Cooper, but he's a bit of a weakness in defence for the likes of Traore, cutting in through that centre line at the back as well.
Because it's sort of how Leeds plays. It's sort of a man marking system under Bielsa. Are we going to have to alter that? So do you know what I mean?
To adapt to that.
Because let's be right. Get it in the comment section below, guys. If you genuinely think it's going to be a man marking system, we're not going to change how we play. For me. But do you think there sort of has to be some alterations in the system for this one?
I think high press, that's a major thing for Leeds.
That's where we could turn the ball over.
I think so. Yeah. And Wolves are definitely at a high pressing side as well. The likes of like Moutinho, and Navas as well. They're a very strong team and they're very good with the pressing. And And I think Leeds can definitely equal them in that aspect. That's the key factor for me, the high press constantly, straight from the get-go. Because I think also Wolves, it's like the last 12 out of 16 games they've scored for the first time in the second half. They haven't actually scored in the first half.
Right, okay.
It's quite rare for them. So that's an interesting fact to know. And Leeds, obviously in the past, they have been slow to start sometimes as well, haven't they, in the first half? So
definitely.
It'll be an interesting game.
He's more of I think Bielsa's, we're learning now as well in the Premier League, and get in the comment section below, guys, if you agree. Is Bielsa more of an in-game manager? Because we sort of expect what's going to happen at the start. Maybe you get Roberts wrong. Maybe you'll get Pablo Rodrigo wrong, that cam position. But is he an in-game manager? Because you see Leeds changing so much in the game. And is that going to have to be? Because let's make no bones about it. This is going to be a very different game. So as you were saying, Wolves can deploy the press, but naturally they will sit back and then look to spring the counter. They will look to set traps and spring. So it's going to be a tough one, isn't it? I think this is probably the best way of putting it. It's going to be very different to the first 4 games for me. It
is, and like you said, they're missing some big players as well. But they've got this new summer signing as Fernando Marçal, is that how you pronounce it?
The left back. Yeah.
So they're missing Johnny Otto at the back, and this lad, I've seen some highlights and clips of him. He's a good talent. Offensively, he's brilliant, but tracking back, he covers a lot of ground. But tracking back's his issue, and that's where Leeds can really pick them off as well. Not just in that position, but for me, shots are another key thing as well. Leeds need to really capitalise on shots this game, because you're coming up against the likes of Navas. There's no blooming stranger to put him on in the top corner from a distance. You know what I mean? So
we can't believe in him. Because I think there's been a lot of times where me and you and Dad have especially spoken about it. Dad will be joining us on the watch along tonight, but we've spoken about it a lot in terms of, when Leeds deploy that high press, so much of Leeds goes forward that there is normally just Calvin just left there. And especially with Wolves coming forward, they're going to be so aggressive attacking in that offensive third. So we're going to have to be. It's this man for man thing that Bielsa has, and we're not going to adapt for anyone, are we? That is just how we play. But I do see us recovering the ball high up in their third, but it's going to be whether or not we can then break them down, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I said, they've got, I sound really negative, I'm not, but Wolves, I think Martino's one whose possession is outstanding, and he can recover the ball as well. It's brilliant. But Leeds, for me, in that middle of the midfield, they've had gaps there. Like I say, there's often been times where Phillips is left on his own, or they've got 3 players around him. And this is where a player like Rafinha can really make the difference. If he does
Rodrigo.
Or Rodrigo.
Or Pablo.
Yeah. We've got options. We've actually got more options now. This is why it's fantastic as being in the Premier League and made some quality signings. So I'd like to see Rodrigo get some game time. Rafinha, I'm not sure if he will bring him on. I feel like it's too early, but even like the last 5 minutes, that'd be fantastic. But just to change that middle up a bit, give Calvin some more options. Like I say, Harrison, I think he'll come out strong his first game back. A bit nervous about Hernandez injury. It's always a bit, his first game back since injury.
Yeah, coming back.
Bit nervous about that, but happy to have him back. Nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. So. And then obviously the big talking point as well with Wolves playing that 5 at the back is, as we've just said, it's going to be that spring attack that Wolves do plan. They lost to West Ham, which was a bit of an unusual 4-0. City put 3 past them. It seems like they're in a little bit of a transition at the minute, and I think Leeds can really exploit that with our quality. And I think a lot of Wolves fans are worried about this one.
I think so. I mean, they've only had 2 wins against Sheffield and Fulham, not to put those 2 teams down.
It's like us, isn't it?
Exactly. Similar. It's quite similar, and again, they've conceded quite a few goals like Leeds again. So it's kind of
similar.
2 similar teams and 2 similar predicaments in a way. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know if I'd take a draw hands down.
Yeah,
I think that'd be fair for both sides. I really do.
But I think we were saying today that you go into every game, especially under Bielsa, and because of the mindset we're in, because of the momentum we're in, similar to Wolves when they came up, you expect to win. And I think if we've won 14 out of 18 games, we're going into every single game expecting to win. I do think outside the top 6, these are the best team by a country mile. I also think that they finished 7th twice on the bounce. So that's what we need to remember. We're here for me for 17th place, Leeds. I am happy with 17th place. A win over Scum, 17th place. I'll be overjoyed.
Oh, yeah.
But my expectations are high. I do expect Leeds to win. And I don't know if that's that Bielsa mindset, that winning mindset.
So.
But are we being, like you just said, we would 100% take a draw, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
100%.
I think the fact that Leeds have come out strong against two of the best teams in the world, Liverpool, Man City, that's going to give them confidence. It's not complacency for me. Equally, when I said, and we both said you would take a draw, 1-1, 2-2, whatever. Yeah, Wolves aren't they're not mugs at all, but Leeds, they definitely can do them over. There's no reason why they can't win. And I think Wolves will expect, they've got a world-class manager in Santo. It's a funny one. I think it's the hardest game to predict so far this season, even though it's early doors. They've only played 4 games.
Well, this is an interesting one from Dale. Can't accept a draw against teams like this. I think personally, Dale, I think teams like this they're a very good team, Wolves. They got knocked out of the Europa quarterfinals last year, but we can pose a massively different threat. I've said 3-1 Leeds. I do think 3-1 Leeds, but I think the whole mentality of Leeds going out there and a lot of people saying 3-4, 5-0, we're going to batter them. It is, and hopefully we do. But I do think, anything, a 1-0, a scrappy, rubbish 1-0 win, even a 1-1, I'd be over the moon with. And but it's going to be so interesting to see how we go into this with the next 4 games coming up. Obviously, we've got Leicester, we've got Villa, Leicester, Palace and Arsenal. Won't get into those too much. But with regards to Traore, me and Jack have been talking off air. Now, with Traore being so good going forward, potentially starting the game, with Dallas's fitness, and Traore sometimes, I do think he's improved, but he is a little bit of a headless chicken sometimes. Yeah. He doesn't really know where he is sometimes. With Leeds' discipline, knowing the positions, the patterns of play, is this where we can really exploit Wolves?
Yeah, there's no reason why they can't. Do plays over like Traore. It's just the physical aspect that it's new to them. A player of this size and stature, they haven't played anyone apart from Van Dijk at the back. But it's obviously a whole different ball game, different position. They definitely can't. Technically, Leeds are better. Leeds are better than players like Traore.
It's his athleticism, isn't it?
It is. But in the City game, Sterling was obviously the best player. On Man City side, maybe on the pitch too, but they handled it. Koch handled it. He did it. It doesn't make me laugh. Koch, whatever.
That's why I just started saying Robin.
I'm going to have to say Robin.
Robin handles it.
He can. There's no reason why they can't handle Traore. And it is a matter of when he comes on. He won't start for me.
No, I don't think he'll start.
Maybe the start of the second half.
But what I'm trying to say is, if he's coming forward, doing all what he can, I think we can exploit them because Dallas knows his position so well. Traore is going to be, because the thing is, when Dallas goes forward, Traore is just going to be up there waiting for that spring counter attack. So he's going to be waiting. So this is where it's going to be so different because we can't leave players like him, Neto, Podence, just left by themselves. I don't think we will. But as Marco says here, first goal is massive in this one. Now, this is a really good point because with Leeds, the first goal happens. What do they have to do? They have to come out at Leeds, and that is where we're going to hurt them if they come out at Leeds because we're going to overload them. If they score first, it's going to be a case of what we faced last year. Leeds trying to break the door down, them going into a back 10. You know what I mean?
You do. That's the main worry. Like, especially if you say they're playing 5 at the back, it's going to be hard to break down. I mean, we were watching Villa Leicester last night, and Villa's defence was incredible. So we could see a similar thing. If any of you guys watched that game last night, we could see a similar thing in Wolves' defence if they do get that first goal. But like I said earlier on, they haven't scored in the first half of the last 12 matches out of the 16. I think they've scored late in the second half. So if Leeds get that first goal, it's massive. I think they'll struggle there. I think they'll. Again, it's interesting the dynamic. Like this, 2 world-class managers, like we saw in Guardiola and Klopp. It's two different styles of play.
And we've not even touched on Jimenez as well, as people keep saying in the comment section. I mean, Jimenez is arguably one of the, if not not one of them, but potential to be one of the best. I might say, I'm going to say it. If he was at like a Man United or if he was at a Man City, he'd thrive. And he'd be seen as one of the best, if not the best in the league. Guys, I think Jimenez is a bigger threat than Adama. Jimenez is class. And he's, once again, he's going to be someone who is going to lean on Struijk, because Struijk is obviously going to be one of the new bloods in the side. We're expecting Cooper to be out, by the way, guys. But I think we can get past that Jimenez press. But with regards to COVID-19, Wolves went away. Portugal, Ronaldo got it. There was issues there. Obviously, Ronaldo's got it. Apparently, they've faced a late fitness test, a late corona test on Sunday. The results haven't been revealed yet. But this could be I don't know what we're going to see with the test results before the game. You'll see certain players out the squad. We don't know yet. But that could be massive, up to 5 players in that side. So, I mean, that could be huge.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a massive deal. Like, if it's, I mean, they did release both teams in a couple of papers, but it's early doors. Like, a lot could change in the in the build up to this game, especially substitutions. With regards to fitness. I've never really thought about COVID as being a massive issue in this game, but because I forgot about the internationals, but that could be. Yeah, that could be a hindrance, couldn't it?
Massively.
Could be a massive hindrance to them.
Yeah, well, its top player's been out. And I think with regards to that, that's going to have a massive impact on their starting lineup. Of course, it is. Rafinha, Raf Attack, as I've got titled there. What does everybody think? Do you think we're going to see him tonight? What do you think? Do you think Rafinha, is he going to come on as a little bit of a focal point, or is he going to? I can't imagine him starting the game. Can you?
No.
However, Bielsa seems to, apparently in training, he's been unbelievable. They all think so.
He's really confided in him, hasn't he? I think already we've heard about this rapport he's built up with him. Potential future cam. I think he's really going to utilise him in that role. If not, early doors in this game or this game at all. Potentially Villa, Leicester, he can really make a difference in those games. But every game here, it's going to be a hard game, isn't it? There's no easy game. Like we're seen some of the comments saying, it's easy 3-1 win or a straight, they can easily get a strong start. They definitely can, but I don't think they'll bring Rafinha on until maybe the last 10-20 minutes, if that.
Do you know what, guys? I'm going to go on a whim, and I don't think we'll see him at all tonight. That's my personal opinion. Wolves are tough test, says Mick, but we can win this. Thank you, Mick, for your donation. It all goes into the channel, mate. I really appreciate that. And I think he's right in what he says in terms of it being a really tough test. But if any promoted team is going to be able to match them, and if any promoted team has made a culture change in the Premier League and is shocking most Premier League teams, it's Leeds. And we've sort of done a Wolves. Wolves did the exact same thing when they came up. They shocked a lot of the big teams. Leeds are doing the exact same this year. And it's going to be really interesting once again to see if Nuno's going to be able to adapt to Bielsa.
This is what I mean. I mean, we've seen obviously comments on other social media saying Leeds are going to be like the new Wolves this season. And I think
we're different.
We're different to them. And it's early doors again, but there's no reason why Leeds can't be in the top 10. And we've got some good momentum coming behind us already in the first 4 games we've played. And Wolves arguably have as well, with one more loss than us. But I think they're playing the likes of Crystal Palace. They've not got a massively tough run compared to ours, not to put those teams down. But I feel like if in their mindset, if they can get a win at, if they can beat Leeds today, they can really, so they'll be going for it, they'll be going for it. But Leeds will as well. So it's,
so guys, keep getting your score predictions in as well. Ship Bikes USA, sponsor of the channel. Hello, Bernie. 2-1 to the Mighty Whites, but it will be a tough game, and that is how I see it going. To be honest, I think it's going to be a tough game. Do you think Rodrigo starts? For me, he has to start above Pablo, above Rafinha, above Roberts. He's got to start above Roberts, hasn't he?
I think he will start, and I don't know if he'll bring him off for Hernandez or Roberts. I don't know. What do you think in the second half? I don't.
Maybe Hernandez, and maybe he might utilize him in that sense. But he's just got to start, I know, without being.
I don't know if we'll get a full game, but regardless, if he starts, that'll that'll give him a massive ego boost as well. And he's phenomenal the last game.
Yeah,
he's
getting better and better. I don't think we'd have drawn that game without him.
No way. You know, if you want for that save as well, you know, Man City made. I mean, world class save. But he's going to be a real future prospect. And Rafinha, we haven't seen Rafinha yet, but I mean, he looks very promising.
Does, yeah.
That South American style of play as well.
Yeah, and this is where it's going to be. I'm really interested to see whether or not Leeds are going to adapt tonight. Mark on the fan cam says, Roberts, please not tonight. He needs to be the bench player for now. I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
I just don't. I love Tyler Roberts. He's got a lot of potential, but I don't think he's adapted to the Premier League yet, and there are better players in front of him for me. I mean, we're talking about Rafinha, we're talking about Rodrigo, we're talking about Pablo.
Yeah.
I mean, even whether or not you can put Costa in the middle and Poveda out wide. Poveda's another one we've not spoken about.
Poveda.
So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he's going to play. But yeah, guys, that's it really. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy these little build-up shows. We are going to be here with the watch along probably, I don't know, maybe sort of like 7:15, 7:20. But yeah, make sure you are with us for one Leeds on that one. As I say, the content's still coming. You have your instant match reaction as well. We will see you then. See you in a bit.